Aleksandra Savic.
Thank you, Dubravka. I have to say first that I'm very new in this field because I'm more of a linguistic background and have been working at the tribunal for the former Yugoslavia for 9 years. But 6 months ago I have finished my master studies and in media and culture I decided to take a little detour from what I have done until now, and my dissertation, my thesis was Nationalism, Masculinity and Homophobia in Serbia from the 80s up to today, to this date. And actually in my thesis I explored the claim of a Serbian journalist who argues that homophobia in Serbia is not simply hatred or just another phobia, but part of the general political and cultural climate, which produces enemies in order to maintain fake righteousness and brotherhood and unity, while at the same time representing itself as healthy. So the reason why I chose this subject for my master thesis actually lies in my close friendship with several of my best friends who are gay for many years, but they never told anyone, or they told even me only after many years of close friendship. And during the course of time, actually, I met many gay men in Serbia who are in hiding, or as one journalist also said, gay men in Serbia, they don't hide, they pretend they don't exist. So I became very interested in their problem of fitting in the society. And the cultural climate in Serbia in past, almost 2 decades now, was very difficult and suffered tremendous changes. War, isolation, economic difficulties, rising influence of the Serbian Orthodox Church is very important in this matter. And all these factors actually had huge impact on the entire society. Of course, homosexuals are part of it, and presentation of gay identity as well. So my thesis explores these difficulties through actually 3 key moments. One is the period of socialism, so 80s, and homosexuality and its presentation in 80s. Then the war, time of conflict, which is between 1991 and 1999. 1999 is like my last year of that period because that was the last year when Milosevic was in power, or 6 months before he fell, and the post-Milosevic period in Serbia. So I wanted, actually, the main goal of my research was to produce a strong case which would support my assumption that homophobia in Serbia is actually closely linked to the Serbian nationalist type of masculinity. So in this session I will just focus on the war period. And first of all, I have to say that I had many problems actually doing this research, because this is only a case study analysis and I didn't have much time and space to conduct the interviews. But the literature in Serbian especially, and about sexuality, homosexuality is minuscule. So dealing with sexuality, especially with homosexuality, is a multi-layered task and very difficult one. So I faced many difficulties in trying to find the right literature, and I had some informal conversations, and so anyway, I see this research only as the beginning of some wider research. I would like to do the PhD on this subject, but anyway. Period of conflict in the former Yugoslavia had started in 1991, and as I said, during those years and until 1999 was the bombing of Serbia, and after that Milosevic fell from power. The country was in a very difficult political situation, and I tried to find some, actually the main source I would like to say for my research of this period was a book written by a university professor. He used pseudonym as his name. I don't know his name. I don't know much about that person. But he wrote the book under the pseudonym Boris L. Davidovich. Unfortunately, I don't have any other information, but he covered the period between 1986 and 1993. So he wrote a book under the title Serbian Diaries, and he has different entries. It was written in the form of a diary. So he writes about his personal experience also, but also about sex and politics in the times of war and sanctions. After the beginning of war, he became, actually he was very scared of mobilization, and he writes that if that happens to him, if he would be mobilized, that Serb soldiers would immediately see that he is not one of them. He does not share their nationalistic feelings and the same patriotic feelings, as they would say, and God forbid if they found out that he was a gay. So then, in one of his entries, he refers to an article that was published in Borba daily newspaper under the title Information by Experts from the Military Academy on Forms of Physical and Mental Molestation of Prisoners in Croats prisons. So he actually wonders here if the Serbs were using the same methods in the camps established by them. And we are talking here about the year 1993. So in the midst of war in Bosnia and Croatia. And he actually mentions the homosexual dimension of torture and humiliation, among other atrocities that are committed by the warring sides. And in his entry, he wonders why does the idea of forcing soldiers of another nation to have homosexual intercourse come into a mind of a heterosexual man. And he argues that the main reason is the wish to humiliate the prisoner and to destroy his human dignity. Actually, this was a subject of further discussions, and Boban Stojanovic, who is the activist of the Queeria Center for Culture of Nonviolence and Equality in Belgrade, he also argues that almost every gay man in Serbia has experienced some kind of sexual violence, from verbal provocations to even rape. And he claims that in many cases, raping of men occurred during the war in Bosnia. According to the UN reports, every 10th rape was actually rape of men in the camps. And most of them happened in the camps. So he argues that the majority of these cases happened in order to show that the other side was less masculine and to take away power from them. He also says that the raping of women during the war has as a goal to make another nation dirty, but the rape of men actually takes away military and protective power from them. Therefore, molested men assume the role of women or homosexuals. This is actually considered to be a big shame for a nation, and this is why only 6 articles were written during the war about rape of men in prisons. And 4 of them were in Croatia and only 2 in Serbia. Well, actually, Stojanovic argues that people in Serbia live in a very patriarchal society where a boy was taught to be a soldier from the day he was born, and responsibility of being a protector, a defender of the family, of the country has been imposed on him since childhood. So actually the problem occurs when such a boy finds himself in a war. So nationalist and militarist repression demands of him to become a beast that will do anything in order to defend his country.